So the topic that you wanted to talk about,
Yeah.
how to be a ready buyer in this market, right?
Really, really critical. And we've been talking with our team, other agents, but mainly with our team, and making sure that buyers have the expectation of what this current market is like, because it's really unlike any other market we've seen in the sense that super competitive when homes come on the market that are fit for a lot of people. Not every home is selling, no doubt.
Right.
Still got to be priced properly, right?
For the condition and location. Yep,
Exactly.
it's got to be priced right.
But what happens is, if it's a good home in a good area with, and it's price quote to the market, what do buyers need to be thinking about so that they're ready to go and their offer is competitive? Because we've had some that had 20 offers in the first day on the market.
Right. Well, we put one on the market today. I think it's had 20 showings already.
Yeah.
200,000 house.
So we'll have multiple offers. So
what's going to set aside who's going to be the one selected by the seller to buy that home?
Yeah, that's the question. Yeah, what does that buyer need to have in place to make sure, other than having a real estate agent, and this is critical, that's helping them put that offer together, that understands what this market is like. I've heard some stories recently of offers that come in and you're going, what offer are you writing this market for?
Right.
Yeah, I heard. I'm sorry. I keep talking. I keep asking you a question. I keep talking, but I got to tell you this story. I heard this the other day. Super competitive. Somebody received an offer on a property, right? It was one of those, 200,000, 250, real competitive. Knew there was going to be multiple offers, or actually, this agent knew there were going to be multiple offers. But they wrote this offer like they were writing it in 2010 when it was a buyer's market, not a seller's market.
Right.
And they put all these expenses on the seller. They didn't. It was just weird. It's like, hold on, the real estate agents should know that are doing business in this market. They gotta talk to their buyers about this if they want to be competitive.
For sure. And also we do what our buyers want, so we can educate them. And then we sometimes write things that we know are not how you're going to be the person that gets to purchase that home. Right. But I think, having a realtor who is familiar with what's going to be important to the seller. And honestly, Tego, one of the most important things that we find in what we train the team is have a lot of communication with the other realtor, because we need to find out what's important to the seller, right? If I have a buyer who can do a different closing date, they don't have to have the house by a certain date, right?
Right.
If I don't call the other realtor and find out what the seller prefers, when would they like to close? When do they need to move? I might pick a date that puts me out of the running, right? So that communication with the realtor representing the seller is exceptionally important. But there's lots of different things, that we do to write a compelling offer, but we do need the buyer to be ready, right?
So what are those things the buyer needs to do?
So they need to be working with a good local lender. These days, the online lenders have gotten so good these days, but an online lender is not going to wow the seller or the seller's realtor, right? They want somebody that lives here, has a reputation here. And if they mess up the loan, other realtors know about it. And, they have a reputation, right? So a good local lender. And then a lender letter that goes with their offer that shows that their credit has already been pulled, their verification of employment, their taxes have already been submitted. They've already done all the legwork on the loan to make sure that this person really qualifies.
Can make a side note on that, because there's the pre-qualification letter or the pre-approved letter, right? In
pre-qualification means they told me these things.
Yeah.
And if they're all true, they probably qualify for that house.
Right. We're pre-approved, and that's not always true.
It depends on the letter.
I've seen letters that say pre-approved, and then you read the detail, and it's well, we haven't pulled their credit yet. We haven't looked at their employment history and this and that, right? So you want to get again one of those letters where if you're the buyer, you're actually made the application. You've already
submitted
had them pull your credit.
documentation.
You've already submitted some of the very basic documentation, like your income, your proof of income, that type of stuff, job history, and so on, right?
Right. So getting pre-approved versus pre-qualified is pretty important. And then obviously the type of loan is very important.
Yep.
If you need down payment assistance and somebody else doesn't, they're probably going to choose the somebody else, right?
Yeah.
The time it takes you to get your loan. So some loans notoriously take 45 to 60 days, where some others could close in 30 days. And it just kind of depends on what the seller's interested in and how that works. So
give us just like maybe one or two of those little tricks. We don't want to share all our secrets, but give us a couple tricks that maybe a buyer could offer to the seller to make their offer stand out.
Well,
other than the price, right?
Other than price. Yeah. So an escalation clause on the price. So if you're willing to pay more for it, make sure you put that down, right? Make sure you put it out there, because if the other seller or the seller's agent doesn't know that you're willing to compete at a price higher than you offer, you may not be given the opportunity. Some of the things, just who pays for what. It's typical in our market, kind of who pays for what. There's title cheat sheets that show who typically pays. So sometimes offering to pay some of the things that a seller might. Honestly, I think you get more bang for your buck by giving a higher price and keeping the who pays for what the same, because
the customary,
the psychological of the value and what you're offering as a higher price, I think gets the attention of people more than what the net might be sometimes. And then lots of other things, but just making sure you write.
We've got a whole bag of tricks, that we've deployed over the years.
We talk about it regularly. What are we seeing? We're asking our lenders, what are you seeing come through on contracts that you think made the difference, right?
Right.
And again, I think a lot of it is just communication with the other agent and making sure that they want to work with you and that they know that you have a good reputation. So